TikTok ban, giving the company 9 to 12 months to divest. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Well, today, President Joe Biden signed the TikTok ban, giving the company 9 to 12 months to divest or be banned here in America permanently. Our social media expert, Karen Diamant, joins us now here on The Factor Uncensored. Your thoughts about this and what it means for TikTok users out there?
You know, I can just start by saying that a day that's been so foreshadowed and it's casted a dark cloud over TikTok for 4 years now is finally here, because we've been talking about this since 2020. I think what it means for users is that they lose trust in a platform that they consider a safe place, because the U.S. has done a smear campaign, and here now Congress comes right behind it to pledge on that and say, you know what, we don't trust it. We don't trust it so much that we're going to ban it until it is a U.S.-owned entity.
Well, you have both sides of the party, both Democrats and Republicans, saying that Americans could be at risk by this, and they could approach, China could approach the CEO, Shou Chu, and say, look, we need this information. And would he give it to them? That's their concern.
And that's a threat. So when I logged on to TikTok this morning, just to see what they were sharing about the platform and the safety net of the platform itself, Susie Loftus, which is the trust and safety leader at TikTok, she confirmed that they're investing $2 billion into their security systems. So they came in fast to reassure the users this is a safe place. And the CEO Shou did confirm that as well on a statement that he made.
Now, they will have to sell TikTok in 9 to 12 months if they want to stay in the hands of American users. Are there any suitable buyers out there?
I think what they're now vowing to is to keep the platform alive and thriving. They reassured their users that, the threat of a ban is not viable, and to its social media ecosystem that they've created. And they're really trying to reinstate that trust within the users so that they avoid losing any users, creators, or advertisers. So is there a possible risk? Yes, there's always a risk, but they're vowing to keep the platform alive, not by selling or transferring ownership, but by fighting this in the court system. So they've said that this is the way we're going to go about it.
Okay. And we heard from the CEO today telling people to remain vigilant. Like you said, they're going to fight it in court despite what Congress and the president has signed into law. Karen Diamant, we want to thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored, and we'll be back with more Factor in just a moment. Stay with us.
And the country under a new law just signed today.
So what will this mean for its millions of users? CBS 2's Dick Brennan here now with more on that. Dick?
Well, Christina Maurice, for now, it means nothing, but that could change. U.S. lawmakers say the popular app is actually a national security threat, and now they've given the Chinese parent company by January of 2025 to sell it. It says TikTok does. It's ready to fight back.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man. No time to talk.
TikTok is a national sensation used by 170 million Americans and kids of all ages.
Do you hear me? I'm crazy. I'm tired. I worked hard at school.
But today, as part of a foreign aid bill,
it's a good day for America.
President Biden signed into law a potential ban on TikTok. It requires TikTok's Chinese-owned parent company to sell the app in 9 months' time. Legislators have long been concerned that TikTok could share data with the Chinese government.
The government of China is literally using TikTok, and we know this, using TikTok both to collect data on individuals, right, on families, 150 plus million families in America, and two, that they are using it to spread disinformation.
But the U.S. says it's not looking for a ban.
We're basically saying we got to pay attention to who the owner of TikTok is and pay attention to what that presents in terms of national security issues. We do not want to ban TikTok.
Make no mistake, this is a ban on TikTok and a ban on you and your voice.
TikTok CEO posted on TikTok, of course, that the company is planning a legal battle.
Rest assured, we aren't going anywhere. We are confident and we will keep fighting for your rights in the courts. The facts and the Constitution are on our side.
But the big question, does TikTok have a chance in court?
So it'll really be a fact-based issue as to who wins at the end of the day. The United States, because it's a constitutional issue, they will need strong arguments. They will need a compelling interest to overcome the First Amendment.
Now, under the law, Biden could extend the deadline another 90 days if he determines the company has made progress toward a sale, but court challenge.
Is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? First and foremost, I like to say, Kahalayim, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who were well, who I learned this truth from. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom. So what you just heard was the U.S. is trying to ban TikTok. Okay, and I've been meaning to do a video on this, so Salakia. But these guys are trying to ban TikTok, and they basically trying to say that the Chinese, let's bag it up so I can get exactly what he said. They're trying to say the Chinese are trying to steal information from Americans, okay? Which is funny because that's what they do. That's what they do to their own citizens, okay? Through all these different bills and stuff that they've been passing, over the years. One that I know for a fact is the Patriot Act, which they just spy on everybody and steal all type of information. They tap phones. Hell, they even steal your samples of your DNA and your blood and stuff. All right, and they've been doing this. All right, so what are you talking about? What are you talking about? The Chinese are trying to steal information when you guys are stealing information.
Been concerned that TikTok could share data with the Chinese government.
The government of China is literally using TikTok, and we know this, using TikTok both to collect data on individuals, right, on families, 150 plus million families in America, and two, that they are using it to spread disinformation.
But the U.S. says it's...
All right, so they say that TikTok is being used to spread disinformation, okay, and that the Chinese government is stealing information and data, right? So check this out. Let's see.
Are my private calls, texts, emails, and data being collected by the U.S. government? Well, maybe. That's because the law and technology have changed. Let's explain how we got here. In 1978, when Congress passed the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, the law set out rules for U.S. intelligence agencies to spy on foreign governments inside the United States. The U.S. could even spy on Americans if they were suspected of working for a foreign government. The FISA law also set up a secret court to approve surveillance. Shh, we'll get back to that. Then in 1981, President Ronald Reagan set new guidelines by executive order without congressional oversight. Now the U.S. government could spy on Americans outside the country if they were suspected of working for a foreign power. That is, without a warrant from the FISA court, but only as long as the nation's attorney general signed off. It allowed for a broad collection of information. Fast forward 2 decades. Technology changed, and so did the world. In the weeks following 9/11, the Bush administration started a vast, secretive, and controversial surveillance program that let the National Security Agency monitor who Americans were talking to by phone and email. If anyone on the line was suspected of terrorism, the government could listen to the actual phone calls or read the emails. This surveillance continued under the Patriot Act, now with the approval of Congress. How did the government justify collecting all this data? They argued that fighting terrorism is like finding a needle in a haystack.
And you need the entire haystack to find that needle. In 2008, Congress approved even more surveillance. This time, technology played a huge role because by now, the United States had become the world's information superhighway, and much of the globe's communications were routed inside the country. FISA, that 30-year-old law that was meant to spy inside the country, was used as a prism to spy on the outside world. That allowed the government to monitor foreigners who were chatting on American wires. How does that affect Americans? Well, all this spying on foreigners gives the US government backdoor access to incidentally collect your information. Emails, live chats, photos, file transfers, even if you are not the target. All this is happening without the standard warrants we've come to associate with suspected criminal wrongdoing, all in the name of national security. Under FISA, the secret court gets to decide whether the government gets all this information. That said, intelligence agencies are required to mask or conceal Americans' identities from surveillance records, but top officials have the power to unmask your name. In 2013, Edward Snowden revealed how President George W. Bush had expanded this surveillance machine and how it had continued under President Barack Obama. As a result, Congress was pressured to end bulk collection of Americans' telephone records 2 years later. But just before he left office, President Obama allowed the NSA to share its raw data with the other 16 intelligence agencies, with some limitations on searching for Americans. So here's where that leaves us. If your communication happens only inside the country, none of it's collected without a criminal warrant. Unless you're a spy, or talking to a spy. If it bounces outside the US, it could get collected in...
And see, what he just said, that's a lie. They spying on all of us, okay? You see what I'm saying? And not just, if your communication is outside the country. No, they spying on all of us. Inside the country and outside the country. Okay? These guys are nothing but a bunch of fucking hypocrites. That's all that is, a bunch of fucking hypocrites. A bunch of fucking devils. Who is it? Who is it? Okay, so like I said, Isaiah 29:15, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, from Yahweh. See, and that's what this is. You heard in the video where they were saying that TikTok is spreading disinformation. They always come with that disinformation when somebody tell them the truth, okay? Because they're allergic to the truth. They got to keep telling fucking lies. All right, so if you tell them the truth, you go against what their new world order. So they're not gonna take that kindly if you tell them the truth. You see what I'm saying? And on TikTok, there are a bunch of people exposing them. Okay, exposing a lot of their wicked deeds and all their wicked acts. You know what I'm saying? So that's the issue. That's why they want to ban TikTok, because even on YouTube, even in my prior how should I say is my prior endeavors, when I was constantly exposing these different alphabet boys and all of this fake mental health diagnosis and all those things over YouTube, they were literally taking my channels and basically shadow banning all of my content, along with all the other people who was exposing that information, right? To the point to where now you can probably find some people on there referring to the gang stalking and all that stuff, but it's most likely going to be all agents. It's not going to be someone who's truly trying to expose what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So these jokers, they'll go that far to hide what they're doing by putting up agents to mix in with the real people. So it's kind of like what you call it, like when infiltration, you know, so they infiltrate different groups of truthers, and then they come in with a whole bunch of bogus ass information. You see what I'm saying? And they will send many of these guys out into that algorithm. Okay, many of these videos out into the algorithm, to where when you type in that topic that you're looking for, you ain't gonna be able to find the real stuff. You're just gonna find a bunch of fake ass people. Okay, and they good for that. So once again, woe unto them. Isaiah 29:15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord. All right, and their works are in the dark, and they say, "Who seeth us, and who knoweth us?" Well, guess what? We see you, okay, and the Heavenly Father sees you. Okay, so you ain't getting away with nothing. You're gonna have to pay for all that. You see what I'm saying? You damn hypocrites. Okay, how is it that you're gonna sit here and talk about China is stealing information, you know, and this, that, and the third, but you guys are stealing people's information and selling it on the black web. Okay, and that's how a lot of this stuff goes on, as far as with a lot of people who complain about being followed around, you know, harassed by these guys, and they got all the different alphabets, that, you know, the cops, the different agencies, okay, all the people in the community, and they all come under this umbrella that they God's people. These are the same people who will arrest you for preaching and trying to teach the Bible, teach the scriptures. How is that? Okay. On one hand, you got God bless America. Okay. So how the fuck is that if you want to sit there and tell people that they can't teach the Bible in America, but God bless America? You see what I'm saying? How is this even possible? It's how you know these people are wicked as hell. Okay? You put that on your dollar bill also. God bless America. Okay? God ain't blessed fucking America. America is Babylon the Great, also known as Sodom and Egypt. Okay? And you can see that based on all the activities and the wickedness that goes on here in America. Okay? All you see is a bunch of wicked shit going on everywhere you look. Okay? You can barely get out your door down the street without seeing some form of something wicked going on. Almost every day. Okay, so it's just strange to me that you want to say that China is stealing information when people have been complaining about you guys all over YouTube for years, man. I can find people who was in that you know, in that life, you know, that life of being gang stalked for over 40 years. Over 40 years, man. You know, and they went out that way. So how is it that now you talking about some damn China? You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make no sense to me. Some damn hypocrites. All right, so this is Matthew 7:5. Is this the one I wanted? Yeah. Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. Okay? So here it is, you pointing out China, but you doing the same shit. But you see what I'm saying? You're doing the same shit. You can't say nothing about China stealing nothing when you know you basically that's who they selling our information to. Most likely they're selling it to them. You know? And then what's this deal with you being so concerned with TikTok? If you know, like, come on, man, what you talking about a fucking app for? When we got all this stuff going on, all this stuff going on. We're on the break of World War III. And you worrying about a fucking app where people exposing you at, exposing y'all ass at. And that's the issue. They want to be in control over everything and what people say. So nobody want to expose them for being the fucking devil that they are. Okay? Let's get one more. Let's see. Yeah, it's the book of Isaiah 10, chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Okay? Well, I wanted was woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. You see what I'm saying? And that's unrighteous to sit up there and point at, point out, say the Chinese government is stealing information from the people when what this guy just said.
On foreign governments inside the United States. The U.S. could even spy on Americans if they were suspected of working for a foreign government. The FISA law also set up a secret court to approve surveillance.
So, you see what I'm saying? They can spy on Americans if they were suspected of basically communicating with foreign entities or whatever. Well, hell, they don't even, ever since 9/11 when they passed that Patriot Act, any type of terrorism, they feel like if you are considered a terrorist, you can be considered a dissident, someone who has spoken up, or you can be considered undesirable, okay? They spy on you like fucking crazy. And I noticed because I went through it and I still go through it, okay? They spy on you through your phone. They send spies into your life. They send people into your families. They send people everywhere you go. If you're going to the market, if you're going to the school where your kid is at, the daycare, and everybody in the community, they got somebody to perform some type of gaslighting tactics, some type of thing to make your mind work and make your mind wonder, to put you in these different categories of mental enslavement, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because they trying to basically force you into these different patterns of reactions. Okay? So they do this everywhere. Okay, and all these people that they have to do these are fucking agents. Okay? All agents. And they'll slock you. They'll try to act as if they're doing some type of good when it's like, no, you're not. You're just spreading mischief. You know what I'm saying? You just fucking spread mischief everywhere. Okay? That's all it is. Like I did a video a while back where this guy shot his neighbor for standing out in the yard talking about he was doing this, that, and the third, carrying out sex acts and stuff. And the guy blowed his ass away. Those are the same type of people. Okay, they'll run around doing all that stuff, and act as if that's not even going on. And you can't even get a legitimate truth to come out about that ordeal, about that type of situation. And it's going on all over the U.S. And not just the U.S., it's going on in other places. All over the place, man. But you cannot find one person besides an actual person that is happening to who will tell you the truth that this is happening. Okay? And it's definitely an unrighteous decree. Okay? So let's hear that again. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. All right? So yeah, like enough is enough with the bullshit, man. If you see this guy, you look up this guy Eric Snowden, and I'm probably saying his name wrong, but that was the whole reason why he left the U.S. I think he went to like Switzerland, or he went somewhere, out of the U.S. to get away from these guys, man, because he basically was a whistleblower, and he was spreading the truth about what they was doing, and they probably was gonna kill him. You know what I'm saying? They just off two whistleblowers for what is that? Baldwin, some company of a Spirit Airlines. They just off two of those guys, man. They just mysteriously end up dead. Okay, they just woke up in the spirit realm out of nowhere, and it's like, how is this even possible? Two guys from the same damn company, they both end up dead out of nowhere. You see? So Eric Snowden, that's why he was trying to get away from here. So yeah, man, want to ban TikTok. They want to ban TikTok to try to hide their counsel, okay? Because people are coming out and speaking truth. All right? That's all it is to it. And with that being said, shalom.